Carmen Rubio is one of the newer members of Portland City Council, taking office in December of 2020, filling the seat vacated by Amanda Fritz. Before her successful run for City Council, Rubio was executive director of the Latino Network and advocate for Portland's growing Latino community. Commissioner Carmen Rubio, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you so much, Ken. I'm happy to be here.
Well, you oversee the Parks Bureau. You also work with the Regional Arts and Culture Council. Several of our parks took a big hit over the last year. Riots, homeless camping, safety concerns, especially downtown. How are we bringing Portland parks back?
So, well, two years ago, before I was on council, Parks had to really shift gears radically during and end all its programming because of the pandemic and everything that was happening. And that was a pretty significant blow to the Bureau. But we're really grateful that, back in 2020, voters made a decision to invest in our park system through the Parks Levy, and that's allowed the Bureau to get back on its feet. So we have a great set of programs that we're about to unveil, and we're able to do even more this year.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you're going to be doing some hiring for the summer for parks, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. We're doing some hiring and we're very excited that we're able to offer more classes and return a lot of the programming that Portlanders have come to be used to from parks. But we need to hire hundreds of full-time and part-time people to make that happen. So we're definitely recruiting in lots of different areas like recreation and urban forestry and land stewardship and maintenance. But we particularly have a need for summer camp staff, lifeguards, swim instructors, and water fitness instructors for our aquatic programs. And we have some great news about aquatics hiring. We have funds from the Park Levy that have allowed Parks and Rec to waive the fees for the lifeguard training course and certification. And this is a new thing, and this has been a big barrier. So we're really heavily recruiting for our aquatics team.
Two prominent parks downtown, Chapman and Lonsdale Squares across from Central Precinct and the federal courthouse, they were closed off for quite a while after the riots and then homeless camping. You can see that now. Let's take a look at what those parks look like today. They are pretty much back to normal. So what did it take to clean those up, and are they safe now?
They're definitely safe, and we're steadily making progress. And our forestry folks and agricultural folks are making sure that we're taking care of the green spaces there and getting things ready for summer. I think that this is happening all around the parks, and we have been short-staffed, as I mentioned, but thanks to the levy funding and thanks to the city opening up again, we're able to make some progress that Portlanders can see now.
Some significant pieces of public art were removed because of damage or fears of damage. The most prominent piece is the Thompson elk statue right downtown and its fountain base. But I'm also thinking of like the Teddy Roosevelt statue by the Oregon Historical Society, the Ben Franklin statue that was on Sandy Boulevard. Several others were taken down. So when will the elk come back, and will the others ever return to public view?
Yeah, so regarding all this, the elk is definitely on its way back. There's, everybody on council is very aligned on that. I think what we're tackling right now is how and when, how soon can we get it, and what will it be, and when can we get it there? So more to come on that. So stay tuned for that. Regarding the other sculptures of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Roosevelt, and others, they're all at the moment very safely in storage. And the pieces in the city's art collection, they have not all yet been fully restored, but those costs will be covered by the city's fine arts insurance policy. So the short answer is that it will be up to Portlanders how, if, and when they come back and where they go. And this will be a public process to determine whether Portlanders want them to return to the public space or at the sites that they used to be, or to another site. We've had a lot of different ideas about, some people want it right back where it was, other people want it to be in a park, and other people are wanting to bring in new art. So there's a wide diversity of public perspective on this. So we feel like it's important to hear from Portlanders what they want. And last fall, as a part of our budget monitoring process, I was able to secure some money to design a robust, equitable, and accessible and transparent public process to determine what Portlanders think just about these issues. And we've wrapped up the call for proposals to help us design that process, and we look forward to announcing that process once we get things wrapped up there, and hopefully sometime in July.
Okay. One more question on this before we move on. There's some thought that the fountain base of the elk should return along with the elk statue itself. The critics argue that it's really one piece of art. What's your view on that?
I think that all of it is art for sure. But we're eager to hear what everyone else thinks as well. I don't think there's any dispute that that folks are supportive of the elk. So we'll stay tuned and see what that process brings. And I would love to come back when I have more information to share with you and talk exactly about what that will look like.
Switching gears here, the Charter Review Commission has been looking at changing Portland's form of government, close to presenting its recommendations to City Council, but we expect that to include adding more commissioners to the council and not having commissioners oversee individual bureaus. Do you think it's time for a change in the structure of Portland City Council?
I personally do think it's time for a structured change in the city of Portland. It's something I've long thought about since the days that I worked in City Hall as a young staffer for different electeds. In fact, one of the mayors that I worked for was part of a campaign to change the city from a structure and it was soundly defeated back then. It was not something that was supported by the voters. But times are different, and we're a growing city, and we've seen how the stress test of this form of government hasn't been ideal. And so that's why I'm fully supportive of this change. Of course, it's not a panacea for all of the issues, and there will be some things that we lose, but there will also be some new flexibilities we gain and new ways to do things internally. So I'm excited for the change, and I'm excited to see what the 20 charter commissioners come up with.
What are your frustrations with the current system?
Well, I think that what is more challenging about the current system is the ability to come into alignment and integrate. Sometimes communication can be a challenge, particularly during COVID. So we saw some places where the structure makes it harder on everyday Portlanders to navigate the city system when there are bureaus under multiple commissioners. And I'm thinking about the person who lives in a neighborhood who's trying to get a basic question answered about something maybe related to their house or their neighborhood, and perhaps if it's something on the sidewalk or right of way, you might have to contact several different commissioners. If it involves a water pipe or a sidewalk, it could involve multiple people. So I'm hoping that we can, whatever happens, it can be something that's better for Portlanders so that they have quick responsiveness, that constituents are able to get their questions answered right away, and that the amount of time to get the problems resolved is also shortened for them.
Thank you very much, Portland City Commissioner Carmen Rubio. Appreciate you joining me on Eye on Northwest
Thank
Politics.
you. Happy to be here.